Okay, so thank you for watching, and my name's Topper, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about left brain and right brain. I want to talk about the ideas of the left brain and the right brain thinking, because I believe if more of us were conscious of how we address situations in our lives, we'll be arming ourselves to make better decisions. And if each person makes better decisions for him or herself on a daily basis, we'll all be stepping towards a brighter future with every thought, word, and action that we take. And that's just awesome. So I'm sure that you've heard that humans only use 10% of their brains. Well, most of us out there know that this just isn't true. You use different parts of your brain, your whole brain, for different functions throughout the day and throughout the night. But a vast majority of us either use the left brains or the right brains in any given situation. And by this, I'm talking about our approaches to situations. So what do I mean by left brain or right brain? Well, the left brain is described as analytical, fact-based, thinks in straight lines, it focuses on parts and pieces. The left brain is goal-oriented. Right? In esoteric terms, it's often called the male aspect or the yang. Left brains think in straight lines. The left brain approach is one of goal orientation. You see something and you go for it. You don't let anything stand in your way. Now, this way of thinking is very productive, and it gets results and it gets them fast. But it can and often does come at a cost. So the right brain it's visceral, it's intuitive, it thinks in curves. It views the whole of a situation, and it's also pretty hedonistic. The right brain is considered female, or the yin aspect. Like I said, it thinks in curves. It thinks around situations, taking everything into consideration, and it uses feelings rather than facts to make decisions. And this way of thinking accepts things, not because they can be proven, but because it feels right. This method isn't very productive, though, but it isn't driven by a goal. It's more interested in the experience. So you may think, yeah, so what? As long as I get where I'm going, I could care less what happens. Or, so what? As long as I feel good, I could care less where I'm going. Well, thinking like this is okay, but there's an unseen consequence of thinking in these manners. When we do this, we're actually limiting the opportunities available to us. By thinking in only one of these manners, we're denying ourselves the ability to find an elegant solution. We are, in a very real sense, and without even realizing it, limiting not only our opportunities, but we're giving ourselves our own personal glass ceilings to the experiences that we have available to us. We're limiting our own ability to achieve personal greatness and personal happiness. And, why not have both when you can? Of course, most of us wax and wane through both of these methods of thought, depending on any given situation. But often, we're taking one approach more than the other. And thinking in a strictly left or right brain fashion isn't wrong or right. There's no correct way to think. But by using a predominantly left or right brain approach to situations in our lives, and not a harmonious compilation of the two, we're limiting ourselves. By thinking in just one way or another, we constrain the scope of our perceptions. Sure, both of these methods of thinking can offer productive approaches to any and all situations, issues, problems, and experiences, but neither one alone will fully solve a problem in a harmonious and elegant manner. Right? Imagine this, okay? You got a problem, and you can't see the solution, and you also feel like crap about it. What do? Well, you go to a confidant. You go to a friend or a family member, somebody you can talk to. Now, most people, when faced with any situation, they'll use one of these two approaches, either the left brain or the right brain. They'll either be calculated about it or intuitive about it. They'll use focused thinking, or they'll think in gestalts. So let's say you've got this problem and you go to your left brain friend, you know, a logical and scientifically minded pal, and you explain your situation. You know, this person will listen to your issue and probably ask some questions and then say something like, well, you've got this and that, which caused this and that. So all you got to do is this and this and that, and you'll be good. Problem solved. Hey, there you go, man. You're welcome. And they'll smile and they'll pat you on the back and they'll tell you, hey, turn that frown upside down. And why not? I mean, hey, they've given you a plan. You have a solution, and they solved your problem, so you should feel better, right? Well, you don't feel better, because they only solved half of your problem. Okay, now imagine instead that you went to another person, a right-brained buddy, you know, a sympathetic and emotional friend. You go to them and you explain your situation. And then again, this person will listen and ask some questions. And when you're done, they'll probably say something like, oh, you poor thing. Well, of course you feel bad. You know, they'll sympathize with your emotions, or they'll help you see another side of the situation. You know, and at the end, you'll feel better. They'll give you a hug, most likely, and y'all will both smile. Yeah, sure, you'll feel better. But really, only half of your problem has been solved. I mean, you still have no recourse, no plan, and no way to take action to prevent a further hurt. You know, looking at it like this, you can see that neither approach is bad, but neither one of them provides you with a full resolution. Each approach only solves half of your issue, and neither one is right, neither one is wrong, but alone, neither one offers a full conclusion to where you feel better about your situation and you come away with it with a plan of action to do something about it. So remember, you know, the left brain thinks in straight lines, and the right brain thinks in curves. So a straight line is focused, but we all know that too much focus can be a dangerous thing. I mean, when someone or something focuses totally on a goal and they don't let anything deter them, that can be pretty destructive, you know. I mean, when we think like that, we can end up ruining relationships, hurting people or things. We can even end up potentially destroying our ability to reach our goals at all. You know, of course, if you think about curves, you know, what happens with a curve? A curve, continuous curve, will give you a circle. Now, this is no better than a straight line. If you walk in nothing but circles, you'll never get anywhere. I think of Alice in Wonderland and the Dodo's caucus rice, where they're just running around in circles over and over and over trying to get dry, but they're running in the water, you know? It's like, come on, dude. You know, sure, doing the same thing over and over and over is comforting and feels good. You know, it's stable and it's reliable, but if you don't have a goal, if you're not moving towards something, you're just a spinning wheel. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you that when you just spin your wheels and accomplish nothing, you'll eventually end up in a bad place. I mean, imagine not working in favor of just sitting at home and relaxing, doing whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. Sooner or later, your utilities are going to get shut off, and the repo man's going to be at your door, and your landlord will be kicking your butt out on the street. You know, luckily for our species and this planet as a whole, most of us aren't strictly limited by left brain or right brain modes of thinking. You know, we don't go one way, you know, thank God. But we will use one of these ways more often than another. You know, there's a lot of people out there who rely on a partner to provide an aspect that they're lacking. You know, well, I see this as like using a crutch because you don't feel like standing up straight. It's like, come on, dude. The marriage of the straight line and the circle. You know, these things, when you combine the two, this is when you get what? This is when you achieve your potential. This is when we achieve our potential. You know, the straight line and the circle, you put them together, that gives you phi. That gives you the Fibonacci sequence, this golden ratio. You know, this is sacred geometry. This stuff goes back before recorded history. Humans have known this. We forgot it. You know, that's sad. But it's coming back. You know, this phi progression, this golden ratio, this Fibonacci sequence, it's found everywhere in nature. Some people call it the fingerprint of God. You know, it's the universe's constant striving towards perfection. And when we contemplate this idea of elegance, you know, when we imitate a flower's expression of not only beauty but purpose, you know, when we harmonize a goal-oriented drive with a hedonistic inclination, you know, we will come to find ourselves closer to happiness than ever before. When we do this, we'll be closer to achieving our individual goals and closer to the betterment of the entire world. You know, we'll be closer to an objective reality and closer to a oneness with God, or Allah, or Elohim, or Gaia, or the universe, or fate, or chance, or whatever it is you want to call that driving force that exists beyond our concrete senses and sensibilities, that thing that keeps pushing us through time. You know, you're going to be closer to perfection. We're all capable of thinking in a combination of these left and right brain methods. We can sense beauty and see logic at the same time. We have the ability to create elegance and harmony in our world in any and every situation we find ourselves in and that we put ourselves in. We have the ability to acknowledge the scientific rules over our universe and marvel at the synchronistic events that pepper our daily lives. In short, if we really want to, we can see each and every single moment in our lives as not only a step towards a goal, but as a complete and miraculous expression, a snapshot of everything that ever was and ever will be.